Okay, good morning again. My name is Kurt Richardson. I am the marketing executive of Inova Solutions here in our headquarters in Curacao. Welcome again, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I will introduce our host, Kifa Sancroft. She will take over now and present you with the speakers. Thank you. You are muted,
Good
Kifa.
morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope everyone is well. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us on today's webinar, Navigating the Cloud, an interactive guide to Azure and Power BI. We're thrilled to have you here, and as we explore how cloud technology, particularly how Azure and Power BI can empower your business, enhance efficiency, and drive strategic insights. Our presenters today come with extensive expertise across cloud services, analytics, and business support. First, we have Yamile Bustamante. She's an Azure Success Manager at Microsoft who brings valuable insights into maximizing the potential of the cloud. Her expertise helps businesses leverage Azure full capabilities, driving efficiency, scalability, and innovation to meet evolving digital transformation needs. Next, we have Rowan Daly, a seasoned Microsoft professional with extensive expertise in technical sales and digital transformation, excelling in roles such as Global Black Belt Sales Director for Azure VMware Services and leadership positions in Azure NetApp Files and hybrid management, with prior experience in IT support and system implementation. Next, we have Horsdino Baradas, a highly skilled cloud solution specialist with extensive expertise in leveraging Power BI to drive transformative, data-driven decision-making processes. His deep understanding of data analytics and visualization empowers businesses to unlock actionable insights, streamlining operations, and enhance strategic planning through the advanced capabilities of Power BI. Next, we have Raquel Allen, an account manager with Inova Solutions, who will be guiding us through Inova's unique managed services offerings. With her experience, she provides insights into how services can support businesses in streamlining IT operations, enhancing security, and optimizing overall performance. And last but not least, we have Shadrick Francis, a technical support specialist here at Inova Solutions, specializing in assisting businesses with Azure Backup to achieve optimized data protection. His expertise ensures that organizations can implement reliable backup solutions and safeguard their data and maintain business continuity. Today, we'll cover a few topics. Firstly, we look at services for Inova Solutions, the MSPs. Raquel Allen will be guiding us with the familiar managed services and how they can support your cloud journey. Then we'll have the value of the cloud with Yamile and Rowan Daly to learn about the powerful capabilities of the cloud and how it transforms your business operations. Then we'll have Shadrick leading us through a step-by-step guide on how to get started with Azure Backup. Then we'll have Horsdino Baradas taking us through data-driven decisions, empowering businesses with Power BI to discover how Power BI helps to unlock our actionable insights from data to make informed business decisions. So without further ado, let's dive in. Please join me in welcoming our first presenter, Raquel Allen, our account manager here at Inova Solutions, to kick off today's sessions.
Thank you, Kifa. Thank you very much for the introduction. And again, welcome everyone. We are very happy to have those who joined this early morning session so far. I'm Raquel Allen, as you've heard. I am the account manager based in Jamaica for Inova Solutions. And as Kifa mentioned, I will be speaking today about our managed services packages. As we know, today we're going to be focusing on Azure and Power BI with our specialists. But at the end of the day, we do understand that services are, a big part of our catalog and our ammunition. Now, Inova has been in the licenses business for 15 years, and recently we've gone into the services space. I am trying to everyone while we wait on Kurt, as I mentioned. So we've been in the licensing business for 15 years. And again, we've also been the LATAM Microsoft Partner of the Year for quite a few of those years, including 2023. As you are also aware, we are based across 5 locations in the Caribbean, including Curacao, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Ecuador, and Trinidad. And our service team spans those territories. We're able to deliver services from Curacao, from Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and Ecuador to all of our regions. As soon as the slide comes up, I'm on slide 5, what we do. Outside of the licenses, which brings you the productivity suite, which you're familiar with, Teams and the collaboration suite, Microsoft applications that we're familiar with, PowerPoint and Word. There are also our cloud adoption services. There's also our security assessment services, advisor services, training and adoption. Our service catalog extends, as I mentioned, from advisory and consultation to training and support. With this, you're able to get guidance from our subject matter experts and functional experts across all IT areas. We assist you with securing your data, securing your identities, giving you the assurance needed with our ongoing support packages. We supply your team with the knowledge that they need to gain optimal use and adoption of your investment in software and technology. Now, we are also able to guide you from consulting on a very, I would call it, strategic journey. With licensing and as our customer, we're able to guide you through the cloud with your passport to the cloud with Inova, from consulting, implementation support, adoption support, and also delivery services and usage optimization. Under our consulting, which is a part of our 5 pillars, we have assessments including our cloud readiness assessment, our modern workplace assessments, security, backup strategy, IT maturity, and training. We also do deployments and migrations for M365 and Azure. And as you will hear from Sharik coming up, we also do backup. Drazino, who is our Power BI or Power Platform specialist, also supports with implementations and rollouts of workflow and automation support delivery for Power BI Power Platform. Training and adoption is a very important part of our artillery, because as you would know, investing in a software solution such as Microsoft, it's one step in the journey. Having persons actually adopt and optimize use to drive the value needed to your organization to affect the efficiencies that are required, then you definitely need to have an adoption and change management plan enabled. And that is something that Inova supports with our optimization and training and adoption enablement services. One of the bigger
Raquel,
things will be,
sorry, I don't want
yes?
to interrupt you, but please let me know when you want to move to the next slide because we're still on the 5th.
Okay, now I am on slide 6 and I am not seeing your screen, so forgive me.
Yes.
Everyone, right, so just now we walked you through slide 6, is it? Right, where you're seeing the 5 pillars of our services portfolio, which, as I mentioned, spans a full customer journey from consulting to usage optimization, including implementations, adoption, and support delivery. We are going to be focusing today on our break fix and ongoing assurance packages, which include security and backup. If you could go to the 7th slide, you would see there that we do have a break fix support package. And with our one of the two flavors that we offer, you are able to get effective support with your incidents and run your Microsoft infrastructure successfully based on the SLAs that we are able to guarantee, right, with the service. I am going to speak more on that shortly. And then we will also look at our ongoing cloud support plan, which is more or less of an insurance package versus an insurance, where you are able to have different services delivered from infrastructure management and monitoring to security and backup and disaster recovery and advisory. Now, if we backtrack to the break fix support, which is on slide 9, we're going to see that we have different tiers of this service package available to you from the bronze level, silver level, gold, and platinum. And across these different tiers are different hours that you are able to, I would call it, pre-purchase a set of number of hours that offers flexibility to use these hours as needed without ongoing monthly fees, right? You're able to draw down on that bucket of hours as you need it. And it provides you with control over your IT spend because you're able to budget for this and know what your overall cost for the year is. And you're able to avoid unexpected hourly rates or invoices. This provides you with support on demand where companies can access support when issues arise with guaranteed availability within the prepaid hours and buckets. This is suitable for businesses that need IT support sporadically, and also larger companies that want to say, focus on their core functions and maybe have smaller support and troubleshoot issues handed over to your IT service provider like Inova. With this, you're able to, as I said, apply to the hours to various IT needs, troubleshooting, repairs to system optimization, and this allows you to allocate time based on priority and urgency. The hours for these different tiers, some of them are rollover hours, depending on the tier that you have subscribed to. You will find that your hours may expire if you're at the lower tier, but of course, if you're at the highest tier, your hours will roll over from at a 3-month pace. We can give you additional information on that when you engage us to what I would call shape or coin the package for you specifically as an individual customer of Inova. We would recommend that you are engaging us from a consulting standpoint so we understand your infrastructure, understand your organization, your operations, how your team is set up, and so we know how to fill the gap with delivering the services needed and how we escalate on your behalf as well. Now, what we will talk about now, as we move to slide 10, Kurt, the managed IT services. Here we will focus on more of a proactive versus a reactive service delivery. And in this, I want to say, in this model of the service delivery, we focus on prevention by monitoring systems to identify potential issues before they become problems, which reduces downtime and improves efficiency across your operations. With the managed IT services, as you would see, this is more of a holistic approach where IT tasks are fully outsourced to a provider. It can be partially, but depending on your team's formulation. We do have the virtual CIO. I'm going to go into that. So you see the breakdown of the service, which basically sits beside you and helps you with the development of strategic transformation roadmaps, as well as monitoring security maintenance and ongoing support. And it will now allow your IT CIO, or your CIO and your IT stakeholders to focus on more innovation-driven engagements within your organization that helps your bottom line and, of course, increases your value to your customer base. There are cost implications for the managed services and the proactive services, which I believe some of the benefits include reducing long-term expenses by minimizing disruptions to your operations. And it makes, again, budgeting easier while covering a broader scope of services and reducing unpredictable IT expenses. The impact to business as well, you will find that the proactive and managed services offering helps minimize downtime by anticipating and addressing issues earlier. and promoting a smoother business operation. We talked about that earlier when we mentioned preventing these issues by monitoring, ensuring we're doing patching, ensuring that we're looking at the security posture of the organization, running threat analysis or vulnerability tests in advance so that we know what the vulnerability spots are within your organizations, and we can remediate and put plans in place to mitigate any additional risks or losses from the organization from breaches or data loss. Again, so security considerations are also covered under our managed services. Now, the other benefit of this service is that it's scalable, right? Depending on the size of your organization, you may have a smaller IT team, or you may have a large IT team doing development work, or doing administrative work, or looking at your architecture in the cloud. We can sit and fill in the gaps or partner with you on these different stages or initiatives within your organization and support you with a scalable and functional package. As you will see on slide 11 now, Kurt, this is what our managed service package looks like. You will see, again, as I mentioned earlier, infrastructure management, you will see the security and backup, which you will learn more from Chadwick, and then your advisory. As you look under the advisory, as I mentioned, there is the virtual CIO. We like to call this the go with you on that journey, as I mentioned, to developing your roadmap or delivering that transformation roadmap. With the adoption service included, in the optimization of your Azure infrastructure being considered, including reactive support, on-site support as needed. And within the security and backup, we will have our white labeled Guardian 360, which supports data backup and Defender protection within the M365 Office 365 space. Within that bucket, also, there are quarterly reviews where we'll sit with you and look at how well you are doing, how well we're doing, what the technology changes needs to happen within your organization, where you need to go with the team in terms of training and additional enablement, and also looking at, for example, the antivirus and any secure score considerations there with the Microsoft platform. I believe that there are benefits to going with a break fix support, a block of hours versus an ongoing assurance. Usually companies that are looking for a more extensive partner for delivery would go with managed services with a smaller operation, and companies that have a more rigorous team will go with a break fix. But for me, for us, we do believe that either of these can fit your business model if we are able to personalize the package with you as we understand your operations and personalize each delivery for you. With regards to overall benefits, you will find that we're able to reduce service management costs. We are able to deliver effective support. You are able to take advantage of simplified solutions. And with Inova, you benefit from highly skilled and expert Microsoft certified personnel, trained personnel across all our locations. I am pretty much done with my presentation, Kurt. We are going to hand over now to our next presenter, which is Yamile Bustamante from Microsoft. Yamile, over to you.
Good morning again. I will not be turning on my camera, but I looked as good as that picture there, so you got it. We are having, just to avoid the issues with the bandwidth. So thank you so much, Inova team, for inviting us this morning to join this fantastic event that we are all having. So the two of us today here, so I just want to quickly speak, to talk a little bit about Microsoft and Inova and a few things, and then I'm going to be handing over to my colleague that has graciously accepted to drive most of the presentation today due to my technical issues and due to his expertise as well. So again, I'm Yamile Bustamante Allen, and yes, for sure, I'm an Azure Success Manager for the LATAM team, part of the this year Americas, US and Canada team. And in addition to that, I happen to be as well the Microsoft Country Manager for Jamaica. So Inova, as a Microsoft partner, plays what we call a very important role in driving digital transformation and economic growth in the region. Through a very distinctive partnership with Microsoft, Inova has been able to deliver what we call cutting-edge technologies and business solutions that are empowering the Jamaica business to drive in the digital age. All these partnerships, how you can imagine, are very important for what we call the work that we are doing along Microsoft and to empower the Jamaican businesses to continue to grow. We are providing through all this work together what we call the tailored solutions then, but to meet the unique needs that we're having within the ecosystem. And it's not only connected to large corporations, being what we used to call an LSP, is as well for small businesses and medium businesses for the entire ecosystem and in the way of fostering innovation and enhancing productivity and helping our businesses to stay very competitive in this evolving area. If there is anything that I would like you today to take note and walk away from the presentation, this fantastic presentation that we're about to see with my colleague Rohan, it's going to be 5 different things. It's going to be first about the AI innovation. We are going to be emphasizing how we are driving organizations to rethink how they're using technologies and the platform in these days. I want you to think as well, or to take away everything about customer empowerment. How do we use the cloud these days to empower our customers? The goal is to continue to build the confidence using our Azure capabilities and to drive the consideration of Azure Cloud among all the decision makers. Something else that we want to showcase today is about the level of comprehension in our solutions, in the wide range that we have and we offer, and in addition to the level of security and trust that we provide through our cloud solutions. And finally, and not least important, is going to be about how do we use the cloud to globally scale and the level of flexibility that you can achieve using our services and solutions. So without any further ado, I'm going to allow my colleague, Rohan Daly, who happens to have no issues with the camera, so he's right there. You can see him to continue and give us this fantastic presentation. Thank you very much. Looking forward to your questions and looking forward to engaging our services more. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Emily, and good morning, everybody. It's really truly a pleasure to be here, collaborating with our partners Inova to drive this conversation for a few moments around the value of the Azure platform. You know, as a company, as an organization, Microsoft, one of our core values is helping you as customers to achieve more. And as we drive this conversation today, there are 3 things that I want to leave in your mind. I want you to think about. There are 3 pillars. It's the message of this conversation around the Azure cloud that we're gonna have. There are 3 things: innovation, choice, and trust. If you don't remember anything else that I say today, right? And even as we go into the Joaquin's and Shadrach's conversation about products, remember that piece of the conversation, that these products are aligned and developed and created because of our focus on innovation, choice, and trust. And those are our core beliefs, that as we create an environment in the cloud as a enterprise organization, we want to give you a platform that allows you to innovate, that allows you choice of the types of services that you have, where you have them, and how you want to consume them. And then also, we want to ensure that as you drive your business and as you scale your business as a cloud provider, you can depend on us to provide you services and solutions that are secure, compliant, and allow you to provide secure services and solutions to your stakeholders. So let me go ahead and share my screen, as we drive this conversation forward. Um, I want to land on the concept that Azure as a cloud platform is a trusted platform for AI innovation. We are seeing in the marketplace a number of things. And if customers like yourself, you are in a very competitive, dynamic an environment which is rich for opportunity. A lot of things are happening, right? We are hearing changes in the market, a need for transformation, a need for innovation, a need for customers like yourself to do more with less. And so when we think about the time that we are in right now in the market, AI as a business enabler, as a transformation agent, is creating opportunities to address a number of the challenges that you and customers like yourselves are seeing. Customers are looking for ways to create new value. They're also looking at ways that they can reallocate budget, over the next 24 months, right? Yeah, budgets are not necessarily increasing, as you guys would know. But what we are seeing and the questions that we're being asked our customers is, as I said, how can how can we look at what we have, reallocate it in so many ways, in a different way? So our IT spend, how can we reallocate that IT spend in such a manner that it can help us to transform, our business? The other pillar is, hey, we have challenge scaling, right? I mean, you might be in an environment where you are providing services to other stakeholders. How can you leverage an infrastructure, an environment to quickly scale up your application? Maybe you're not engaging with external customers, but you have internal customers that you need to provide services for. You don't necessarily want to invest in new hardware. You don't necessarily want to invest in new data centers, but you have a desire to scale up that environment or even scale out that environment to provide additional services for your stakeholders. And so in this era, in this time, our vision and our focus is that we need solutions, or we're creating solutions to help you as customers to simplify the complex and accelerate growth. And we do that on three pillars: pillars of innovation, pillars of choice, and pillars of trust. Our vision for the cloud is to provide you an intelligent data platform, a platform that you can bring your data. You can use cloud services to aggregate that data and provide analytics that will allow you to gain insight from that data. You can also bring your applications to a modern platform that allows you to reimagine and bring additional services that will help you not only migrate your application, but allows you to look at different ways that you can improve application security, but also application design. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Along with that is the ability to leverage new tools and services to modernize how you look at not only your infrastructure, but also how you look at um, application development, as I said earlier, and where you want to deploy those applications and services to meet your customer demand. Obviously, underlying that is this responsible approach to infrastructure management underlined by a secure platform that built into that platform is governance and compliance and leveraging AI in a responsible way so that your data and your important assets are not exposed externally, causing you any type of risk, as a consumer, of the cloud. I want to quickly point to three customers that are leveraging the platform in a way that is helping them to drive impact. You might have heard about these customers, and I know Yamili will share one that is specific to the region. But these are three customers that have approached and leveraged Azure in a way that for their business that they're able to drive innovation, choice, and trust. Vodafone, telecoms provider, one of the things that they have been able to do is leverage some of our AI services to be able to create a chatbot, a super agent that allows, when they're speaking to you as a customer, they're able to quickly search for information using generative AI, looking back in this large data set that they have developed as a customer to be able to answer customers' questions quickly. And so they're leveraging Azure services to be able to provide better customer service to their customers. TomTom is a customer that has is focused, and you might have heard of them before also. They're in the Netherlands, and what they've done, they've produced their solution is very focused around in-car navigation technology. TomTom is one of those customers that is big in the automotive industry and driving forward the concept of autonomous cars and that type of advanced concept in terms of how users drive this forward-thinking technology around automation, the automobile industry, and how consumers drive their motor vehicles. And so TomTom needed an environment that they could quickly scale, right? They had these data centers on-prem, they had their infrastructure on-prem. And so one of the things that we were able to do was help them migrate their workloads into the cloud. And as they increase their business, as they develop new technologies and new services that they provide to car manufacturers, the Azure platform has given the ability to scale up their environment quickly. This is something that they couldn't do on-prem because obviously, or on premises, obviously they would need to invest in long-term contracts in purchasing or even renting data centers and buying additional hardware to scale at the speed, not allowing them to scale at the speed, that they would need to do, in this present economy. And so one of the other things is, and I want to say this, as a lot of folks might not realize this, the Azure platform is not only a Windows platform. It's not only a Microsoft-centric platform. 75% of the VMs or the virtual machines that run in Azure are open source VMs. They're on the Linux platform. And so TomTom as a customer who their development is very open source focused, we have given them a choice by allowing them the ability to bring their Linux-based workloads onto the Azure platform so they continue to seamlessly work in a manner that they're used to working with. The last customer I want to talk about is Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk is a healthcare provider in the US, and they're very, very focused on driving and understanding the research from the perspective of critical or chronic diseases, huge data sets again. And so one of the things that we have done with them is as they design and develop models to help them with researching data. One of the things that they needed to do is ensure that their code base was very secure. And so we have leveraged Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is our CI/CD pipeline. And so we have helped Novo Nordisk to be able to have secure check-in and check-out of code and ensure that as they develop these new uh, capabilities and these new applications and programs that are helping them to understand data and understand, some of the things that they need to do for chronic disease research. They are doing it in a secure way, not only for their internal developers, but also for the developers that they are working with externally. So the external partners, such as the FDA, such as the CDC, such as international partners as UNDP that is focused on research and understanding chronic disease. And so across these agencies, not only internally and externally, we are helping Novo Nordisk to do things in a way that meets not only internal compliance because of the security of the platform, but also external compliance because not only is the platform securing code for them internally, but as they share data and as they share code with their external partners, they are able to do that in a secure way because of the capabilities of the platform. So quickly, I want to highlight, some of the pieces or some of the ways that you can think about how we drive innovation. And if you listen to what I said about some of these the customers a while ago, they're really around 3 pillars. We give you the infrastructure that allows you to grow at scale. We also give you the ability, and you'll hear a little bit about this when Joaquin speaks about Power BI. We have this powerful data estate that allows you to dig deeply to gain insight from all your data. And then as you build applications, the platform allows you to scale and reimagine how you could build applications in a manner that you could not necessarily do before. So when we think about the platform you might have heard about, and it might be very pervasive. And I just want to talk quickly about this, that Copilot and the AI stack undergirds what we're doing in terms of a modern cloud platform. However, there are also tools that are available for you not only to leverage the existing Copilot capabilities, but you have the ability with Copilot Studio to build out your own internal Copilot, your own internal chatbot, so that as you leverage the Azure platform and you bring your applications, you bring your data, you can leverage services and solutions. Not only Copilot for yourself, but it allows you to innovate and automate and transform your systems and how you provide Copilot capabilities or AI transformation capabilities to your users and consumers, whether they be internal, or external. And so some of the things that you will hear us talk about is, for example, Visual Studio. We'll talk about, some of the things on the platform, for example, Copilot Studio that allows you to create your own Copilots, GitHub Studio that allows you secure check-in and check-out and management, of your code. We couldn't do this without creating a platform that allows you to do this at scale. So when you think about the Azure backend or the Azure backbone sits on supercomputing capabilities that allows us to present and provide this scalable AI capabilities. And so there are a number of things that we do in the back end that allows us to create or provide these workloads for you at scale. So obviously, we have high throughput networking capabilities across the globe, and I'm going from left to right, from right to left on the slide. Our networking capabilities allow you fast throughput and low latency, leveraging capabilities around high bandwidth capabilities of InfiniBand networks and Ethernet-based network capabilities. We have one capabilities that we call Azure FastPath that allows, if you have uh, low gravity applications that need that are very sensitive to bandwidth and disruption in bandwidth. We have networking capabilities such as Azure FastPath that allows you, whether your application is running in the cloud in Azure or you need to connect back on-prem in your data center for data inspection, we allow that data to traverse from on-prem to cloud in a fast way so it doesn't impact your workload. And if you can think about this in the healthcare space, this is really critical. You might have heard about Epic. Epic is one of the largest providers of hospital patient management systems in the world. Epic is one of our top customers in this way. We allow Epic, we're ensuring that in a mission critical environment, such as patient management system, there are no drops in performance, obviously, because drops in performance are not just create application issues. It has direct issues or implications upon potentially, patient health. And so low latent, high performance networks, we give you the ability from the type of CPUs that we use not only for AI workloads, but also HPC, right? So high performance computing workloads for SAP workloads. These workloads that require that not only crunch data, but also are graphic intensive in some cases, especially thinking about EDA from an HPC point of view. Our Azure backbone requires chipsets and CPUs that allow us to be able to provide this platform that you can do this, not only internally, as I said, but also for your stakeholders or customers, depending on what you're providing. So we run data centers at scale. We run data centers at scale, not only for ourselves, but also for you, as customers to be able to do this in your environment. And then I mentioned early a little bit more a while ago about the Azure application platform. It's an innovative platform that allows you not only to bring your existing capabilities as a developer, tools that I'm going to focus on the database side of things first, and I talk about the application platform. So the intelligent data platform from the perspective of your data. So whether you want to migrate your data into Azure from existing tools that Oracle, SQL, MongoDB, open source environments like MongoDB, Redis Cache, or Snowflake, we provide these data services in Azure, all sitting and running on what we call the Microsoft Fabric. And what Fabric basically allows you to do is this, think about this broad data estate. It allows you this platform, this integrated platform that whatever your data backend be, you can visualize and consume that data. We aggregate that data into a single platform, and whatever the backend is, SQL, Snowflake, MongoDB, Oracle, whatever you're using on-prem, you can bring that to Azure and have the ability to leverage that platform in such a way that allows you to scale your business. I'm going to move on quickly because I know we're up on time. Similarly with our application platform, right? You have the ability to leverage services that you might be familiar within your current environment. And our focus here is to provide you with a platform as a service. So if you're using containers, Kubernetes, you're using Kubernetes on in your data center, you can migrate your Kubernetes environment into Azure and continue to leverage and containers in the way that you work in the cloud. Similarly, with our developer stack, Visual Studio, GitHub. We have GitHub and Visual Studio as a service that you can leverage, in the Azure platform. If you also think about leveraging automation, API services, you can think about how you leverage your functions. We have Azure Functions. We have the Azure API service that allows you to take your APIs that you're using in your platform in on-prem, migrate them into Azure and continue to leverage APIs and Azure and functions in the same way that you do, on premises. I want to quickly jump to the matter of choice. And when we talk about choice, here's a key thing that I want you to understand. I like to say this to customers. We meet you where you are. And so if you might be in a point where you're advanced in your cloud journey, or you might be at a point where you are just at the state where you're investigating that journey. For Microsoft, the cloud is truly hybrid. So what does that really mean? We have services and solutions that are not only in the public cloud, but we have services and solutions that allow you to leverage Azure behind the firewall. I know Shadrach will talk about backup a little bit. That's one of the solutions that allow you, if your services are not yet in Azure, but you want to leverage a cloud-first solution, Azure Backup can help you to do that. I won't steal Shadrach's thunder because I know he's going to do a fantastic job in talking about how Azure Backup can help you in a hybrid way. There are some cases and some customers that your workload needs to stay behind the firewall. And so when we think about Azure Local, we think about Azure Stack, hybrid, Azure Stack HCI. That's a solution where you can consume Azure behind the firewall. And so the idea here is that we can help you in your transformation in the way that you want to consume Azure. We give you opportunity because we run the cloud at scale. 60 regions, 300 data centers across the world. But one of the key things that is important is that while we have these physical data centers across 60 regions with this global network, low latent network that connects you across the globe, we couldn't do this without ensuring a secure platform. And so if you go and look at our attestations, secure.microsoft.com, you'll see that there are over 100 plus compliance certifications, not only from a America-centric point of view, but we have to meet global standards. So GDPR, for example, and so also you'll see that we meet compliance attestations not only from a commercial point of view across Americas, Asia, and EMEA, but also, well, not only Americas, as I said, but also Asia and EMEA. And when we think about that, our messaging here is that for us and for you as a customer, the Azure Cloud is what we call adaptive. We are truly a multi-cloud company that allows you to consume the cloud at the edge behind the edge in a hybrid way. We're a multi-cloud platform. You can consume Azure from an infrastructure, an app point of view, a database point of view, but we have other services from an information worker point of view with our Office platform, or might be our IoT services where you have these devices, whether these devices are in your manufacturing plant, or these devices might be your autonomous vehicles. We can connect to sensors in those vehicles and allow you to get analytics and understanding of what is taking place in those environments, what is taking place in your business, so that you can look at your data and be able to make sense of it so that you can do more, as a consumer. Until we meet you where you are. It's very important for us to meet you where you are. Again, these are just a list of services that we provide in the cloud, whether it be application, whether it be databases, whether it be our core infrastructure. And remember, all of this is undergirded by consistent security operations and management. You might hear in the conversation today, or when you talk to Inova, as your MSP, the whole matter of the importance of observability and monitoring. And Azure Arc is one of those key capabilities that allows us to help you visualize and understand what is taking place in your environment, whether that environment lives in the public cloud or that environment is in your data center. Because giving you that single pane of glass so that you can understand your security posture is maybe one of the biggest capabilities that you as a customer can consume and understand. There might be some security folks here. That visibility, that understanding, that knowing in depth my security posture is one of the biggest values that we provide for you as a customer leveraging the Microsoft Cloud. And so I want to talk quickly about trust. Because if you hear what I'm saying, and if you think a little bit about the message that I've been landing so far, the platform gives you the opportunity to ideate and innovate. We provide a platform that gives you choice as a developer, as an infrastructure provider, as an information worker, so a consumer of technology. We cannot do this without this key concept. Our key focus on commitment to trust, right? You might have heard our CEO says Microsoft runs on trust. This is not just cliche. This is our value proposition in providing you security, privacy, and a responsible approach to cloud and AI. We're invested in security, we're committed to privacy, and we're dedicated to making sure the environment, any cloud environment that we provide, aligns to these standards. And so across our environment, as a company, we employ over 10,000 engineers, researchers, data scientists, cybersecurity experts, threat hunters, geopolitical analysts, investigators, and frontline individuals that monitor our data centers, but it also crafts solutions to help you monitor and safeguard your data. Into our secure facilities on a daily basis, there are 65 trillion signals that we synthesize daily to make sure that the platform that we are providing to you is secure and will not cause you any type of compromise if you go onto, if you leverage the Azure Cloud, for your solution and services. And so, as I wrap, we are committed to these capabilities to ensure that we provide you this platform that is safe, secure, and allow you to bring your workloads in such a way that there's no potential compromise to your privacy. I want to say this as I wrap. We're here to support you. And I know Inova is very invested in this. And I want to pivot back to Yamile for a few closing points. But know this, right? When you think about a cloud provider, I want to go back where I started. A cloud provider that is invested in your business needs to align to these three capabilities and three visions. Innovation, to help you innovate, to provide you choice, meaning not only meeting you where you are, but also provide you a choice in the solution and services that will help you transform your business, make money, and save money. And do that in a trustworthy way with a commitment to compliance, security, and privacy. I hope these few moments would have helped you to understand a little bit more about the value that Azure brings as a platform. I want to hand over back to Yamile for a few closing points. And then, to the Inova team, as I speak to you a little bit more from a solution point of view, how some of these solutions can help you to achieve more. Thanks, everyone.
Wow, Rowan. Big shoes to fill. I don't know what to say after such a fantastic presentation. But I guess that if it's about closing, I can use our mission, which is about empowering every organization and every person on the planet to achieve more. And I will add to achieve more through innovation, ensuring that we empower our customers to do more, using our comprehensive solutions with security, with the trust that we all deserve, and keeping in mind that this is about scaling with the maximum flexibility. So I just use the 5 takeaways that I started with, in addition with some of the things you mentioned, connected with our mission as Microsoft. I really hope that this conversation has been really good, interesting, and it's going to allow us to drive some interest in opening opportunities for us, Microsoft and Inova, to support you in your digital transformation. Thank you very much. Any questions? We are open to it. Just drop it in the chat and let us know through your partners. Thank you. Have a great day.
Now we'll have Shadrick joining us, and he comes with technical knowledge that will help you with Azure.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Okay, so today I want to speak about Azure solution from a BCD perspective. So what I want to speak about today is Azure Backup as a solution. So as you might know, our threat landscape has increased with regards to, give me a few seconds, guys. Let me just. Okay, so given the recent threat landscape that has been increasing, businesses are struggling to find a way around, protecting their data. Some of us neglect the fact that we need a proper BCDR strategy to basically have that robustness in how we protect and transform our data. So today I want to touch on Azure Backup. I want to touch on what it is, why use Azure Backup, and some of the core benefits of the product itself. I'm also gonna explore the three, I'd like to think, templated architecture of the Azure Backup as a solution. Rohan and Yamile would have explored the value proposition of the cloud on a whole. So I want to kind of drive those points home with this presentation on Azure Backup. So I want to briefly just describe how Azure Backup can, provide that level of security, that level of trust, and help you in your business journey when it comes on to, transformation and growing as a business in a secure and scalable way. So first and foremost, what is Azure Backup? So Azure Backup is Microsoft proprietary cloud backup solution. At the core of Azure Backup, let me see if I can change. At the core of Azure Backup sits Microsoft's Azure Recovery Services Vault. So Azure Recovery Services Vault is Azure's, I would like to say it's the management construct of Azure's BCDR strategy or BCDR solution. So when you think about Azure Backup, it is versatile in a way that it backs up a variety of products. It backs up your machine state. You have your item level backup and recovery when it comes on to files and folder. And you can also back up a lot of productivity workloads such as your Microsoft Exchange, your SharePoint, SQL servers, and so on and so forth. So consider Azure Backup as your fail-safe to the cloud. So why Azure Backup? When you speak about Azure Backup, I'd like to talk about Azure Backup from a modern data protection perspective, where the constant need for reliability, scalability, and security, right? These are I believe philosophies that every organization, if not now, in the near future, would need to adapt to. When you talk about the added benefits of the cloud, Azure Backup, as I said before, utilize Azure Recovery Service Vault at the core of Azure Backup. You speak about Azure SLAs. So given that Azure Backup sits in Azure, you now get that added benefit of the Azure platform's SLA in regards to minimum to no downtime at all. One of the unique proposition of Azure Backup is also the pay-as-you-go model. So you basically would pay for what you use. So Azure Backup is kind of positioned in a way that you back up your workload, you protect that workload, and based on the workload that you're backing up and the data associated with that workload, that is what you pay for. So it eliminates that consideration of a large upfront cost where, you put customers in a position of making big investment. And even sometimes, I've seen this quite a lot, basically overestimating based on the customer's BCDR strategy that they're trying to implement. Another unique proposition of Azure Backup is the hybrid nature of Azure Backup. So Azure Backup does not just back up cloud architecture. It does not just back up your cloud infrastructure and cloud products. You can also use Azure Backup to back up your on-premise infrastructure. And this on-premise infrastructure can be running in a virtualized environment such as Hyper-V or VMware. Let's say you have Exchange on-prem, you have your SharePoint on-prem, you have SQL server sitting in your on-premise infrastructure. Azure Backup provides a solution for this as well. So just to go over some of the core features of Microsoft Azure Backup, the support for various workloads. As I mentioned before, Azure Backup provide backup service for VMware and Hyper-V alike. It also provides backup service for standalone servers as well. When you talk about the integration with Azure, so it provides a seamless integration with Azure Backup, allowing organizations to leverage cloud-based storage for long-term retention and offsite data recovery. Application-aware backup. So Azure Backup supports application-aware backup, ensuring that critical applications such as your SQL servers, Exchange, are backed up in a consistent state, preserving your data integrity. We talk about stuff like bare metal recovery. So what this is let's say that your machine crashes or you have a server that had a significant failure. What Azure Backup also offers service to do a bare metal recovery with regards to rebuilding the entire operating system from scratch. We talk about centralized management. So centralized management in a sense that Azure Backup sits in the recovery service vault as the core service of Azure. So you can look at that from various perspectives, because when you think of Azure Backup from a hybrid perspective as well, you're backing up. Let's say you're using Microsoft Azure Backup Server to back up an entire Hyper-V environment. Within that Microsoft Azure Backup Server, you have visibility into all of the protection groups and workloads in your environment that you're backing up. As I would have mentioned, multiple virtual infrastructure. So given that Azure Backup is a Microsoft proprietary solution, it does not just back up Microsoft alone. And Rowan would have mentioned that in his presentation as well, that Microsoft tries to create that integration or create that level of versatility around their products. So when we speak about Azure Backup, we're talking about your Hyper-V, your standalone servers, your VMware servers as well. Granular recovery. So Azure Backup can operate from, let's say, you're not just considering in your BCDR strategy, you're also considering your files and your folders. A lot of us has a lot of important files and folders that we use in our environment on a daily basis. Azure Backup allows for that item level recovery and storage of your data. Automatic protection and scheduling, that set it and forget it approach, where you configure you deduce your BCDR strategy, you set up your retention policies, and you allow Azure Backup to take care of all the underlying services that needs to, back up, and not just back up, but protect your data. When you speak about end-to-end security, I would like to think is a very important topic and should be a very important topic in most organizations. So Azure Backup encrypts data during transfer and at rest, ensuring that backup data is secure both on-premise and in the cloud. So two other primary value proposition I would like to discuss about Azure Backup as it relates to, how a customer, the first line of benefit that a customer would experience from Azure Backup is reliability and scalability. When you speak about offloading on-premise backup, so Azure Backup offers a simple solution for backing up your on-premise resources to the cloud. You get short-term and long-term backup without the need to deploy complex on-premises backup solution. When we speak about unlimited data transfer, so Azure Backup doesn't limit the amount of inbound or outbound data you transfer, nor does it charge you for the data that is transferred, right? So that is one of the benefits of Azure Backup to the customers. When we speak about stuff like our replication options, so with Azure Backup being, a part of the Azure platform, part of your configuration will allow you to configure your redundancy. When you speak about your local redundant storage, your geo-redundant storage, and zone redundant storage, and based on your BCDR strategy that you're trying to implement, these can add a lot of durability to your data when it comes on to trusting the Azure platform for backing up your productivity data. Scalability. Needless to say that Azure Backup sits on the Azure platform. So with the underlying power of Azure being able to scale very easily, you get that you can be assured that whatever you're backing up or whatever your BCDR strategy is, when it comes to business transformation, when it comes to business growth, your data growing more and more, you are trying to move in a different direction. Azure Backup is there as a solution that you can trust, that it will be scalable, and it will offer that level of, highly scalable infrastructure for you to store your data in the Azure Cloud. Now, I want to discuss three, I like to think, templated architecture of Azure Backup, because whatever you decide to implement, let's say you come to Inova one day and you decide that, okay, we want to back up our workloads, whether it's sitting in the cloud or on-prem. Your backup strategy will as I say, it's kind of gonna be templated on these three architectures. So the first architecture, Azure VM Backup, right? So what is happening here is that so to back up Azure VMs, what happens is we configure this backup in the recovery service vault. So from the recovery services vault, we configure the backup, and upon initial backup, what the recovery services vault will do is install that backup extension on the VM agent itself. Once that VM agent is installed, it now starts to back up the underlying disk and storage infrastructure of that VM using VSS. That is your volume shadow copy when you talk about Windows, or if you're using Linux, you talk about your file consistent backup. And from that VSS, the recovery service vault collects that backup and store it there for long-term retention. So it's a simple architecture. This is basically how it works in the cloud. So Azure Backup from an on-premise perspective. So as you can see in this architecture here, in this architecture, we have the Microsoft Azure Backup Server basically sitting in the middle of the infrastructure, right? So what the backup server does is that it acts as that short-term retention place for your data. So you deploy Azure Backup Server and in your environment, you deploy it in a domain controller because it has to be deployed in a domain controller, not a domain controller, in a domain. You deploy it in a domain. Let's say you have that domain in a Hyper-V environment. You use your Azure Backup Server as that short-term retention place, and Azure Backup then send the data to the Azure Recovery Services Vault for long-term retention. So this is basically, from an architectural point of view, how Azure Backup works with regards to your on-premise and your hybridized backup. So Microsoft Azure Backup Server is predominantly the primary recommendation when we speak about hybrid backup, having your on-premise backup, having a copy of it stored in the Microsoft Azure Recovery Services Vault. So if there's a case where your Azure Backup Server got destroyed or anything might happen to that server, you can still recover your data to your production environment by just simply spinning up an X server, retrieving the credentials and basically rebuilding that short-term retention space for your Azure backup. So very, very secure. As I say, data is secure in transit and at rest. So this is the solution that we recommend to customers that are looking for a hybrid backup solution. So as I had mentioned before, Azure Backup can also back up your on-premise Windows Server. Let's say you have Windows Server or a workstation. So let's say you just want to back up some files and folders, or you want to back up your file share that's maybe not a part of a domain, like in the architecture of the Azure Backup Server. What you will do is install that Microsoft Recovery Service agent in your production server, the recovery service agent would use the volume shadow copy as well to capture your backup and store it to a caching location. That caching location would basically be where Azure Backup stores a VHD file of your backup. And based on your backup policy that you configure, you would send that backup to the recovery service vault. So that's basically the three templated or the three general architecture of how Azure Backup works. So for a moment, I want to address some specific industry pain points when it comes on to, how Azure Backup positions itself as a trusting solution and also a very versatile solution in multiple industries. So when I speak about healthcare, so Azure Backup provides compliance with major data protection standards such as your HIPAA, your GDPR, to built-in features such as encryption, data residency options, and robust access control. It supports data governance, making it easier for healthcare organizations to meet regulatory requirements. Retail, the need for high transaction volumes. So Azure Backup supports incremental and differential backups. So it's make it a feasible solution for high frequency transactional data without significant impact on system performance. Transaction consistency is maintained to avoid data loss. So for finance industry, the need for scalable and large and complex data. So financial organizations often deal with vast amount of data. Azure Backup scalability enables efficient management of large data sets without disruption of daily operation. So incremental and optimized backups to minimize the impact on storage cost and performance. So, this list could be a lot more exhaustive, but I just want to show you how Azure Backup can be that solution that is versatile in a way that it supports backup and disaster recovery strategies in multiple industries and does it very well in a very scalable, secure, and reliable way. So on the topic of Azure Backup, where does Inova sit in this? What is Inova's added value to the Azure Backup? So as a technician myself, we offer a variety. I'd like to say that we try to streamline our solution delivery when it comes on to backup and BCDR strategy. So one of the things that we try to do is try to assess the customer environment. So we try to assess your infrastructure. What workloads are you trying to back up? What is the data? How do you expect that data to grow in the near future or reduce in the near future if it's a case where you're trying to implement something that wouldn't exist in perpetuity. So we provide that assessment for our customers, right? We sit with our customers, we assess their environment properly to make sure that whatever recommendation we propose would be right size and would help our customer grow in not just the short term, but the long term. If you notice, I didn't mention about cost during the entire presentation, because this is where Inova comes in as a partner to help our customers estimate the cost of what any the cost of any solution that they will be implementing. So what we do with our customers with regards to backup is that we sit with them, and based on the workloads, the data, we say, hey, this is what it will cost. This is what Azure will charge you for on a pay-as-you-go basis, using the Azure pricing calculator and Azure estimates. So we sit down with our customers and we help them figure out the financial direction when it comes on to backing up their environment. Solution delivery. So apart from just assessment and cost analysis, which would have been kind of like a pre-sales, kind of like the pre-sales motion of everything, we also do the solution delivery ourselves. So what we do is, based on the assessment, based on whatever analytics we collect, we try to now scope a proper solution for that customer. That scope a unique solution. We provide a proposal to our customer, a proposal for our technicians to execute this solution, maybe on a projectized basis, or just, as Raquel would have speak about our block hours or block hours basis, depending on the size of your BCDR strategy, right? So that's solution delivery. We also offer ongoing support. So as technicians, we know that Microsoft, while having a lot of products that are very robust, reliable, scalable, and secure, things go wrong, right? It might not be the product's fault. It might actually be an infrastructure error. It might be user errors, but things go wrong when it comes down to solutions and them operating on a daily basis. And this is where Inova comes in as your support to basically help to help you, just to handhold you through, monitoring, maintaining your infrastructure, and simply troubleshooting when it comes on to, failures in your environment. So I just want to leave you with this, guys, that Azure Backup is a solution that you can trust, right? It's highly, highly scalable, given that it sits in the Azure platform, with that Microsoft Azure Recovery Services being the underlying driving force that it of not just backup but also disaster recovery. It's secure, it's very secure, as I mentioned before. It's secure in transit and it's secure at rest. So I want to leave you with that, guys, that Inova positions ourselves as Microsoft partners, as proud Microsoft partners that help customers realize and execute their business, their BCDR strategy in a very efficient and cost-effective manner. You know, so that would be the end of my presentation. I would now like to turn over to my colleague, Jairzinho Baradas, where he would be discussing Power BI from the Power Platform and how, how Power BI can help empower and drive your business as a whole. Jairzinho.
All right. Thank you, Shadrick. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in our webinar for today. My name is Jorginho Baradas, and I will be diving deep into how Power BI can empower your business. So without any further ado, let's start. So before I dive or delve into what is Power BI, I want to first start with a case study, right? So let's say I have this company, for example, right? And just to keep things simple, this is a small company offering some products to customers. So for a normal company, it needs to manage its employees, right? Needs to know how many employees it has in the business, how many salespeople, how many financial administrators, and also how many technicians or maybe engineers working in the company. But also it needs to manage their goals, salary, and things like that. Moving on, we have that the company also needs to manage its customers, right? It needs to know what type of customers they are, the email address, the address, their location, the contact persons of that company. Moving on, they also needs to manage their products or services. This could be how many products I have in inventory. What are the model of the products that I am offering, right? And it also counts as services. What type of services am I offering? So next to products, we also have orders, right? Orders are demand for that products, how many demands I have or how many requests I have for certain products or services. It could be purchase orders, it could be sales orders, but how many requests I have that I need to manage to make sure I fulfill these orders to the right customers and on the right time. And also, last but not least, we have invoices, right? We need to manage our invoices to charge the company, let's say, for the orders or services that we have implemented. Now, if you take these 5 components, for example, most likely each of these components needs to be saved in a database. Now, for some companies, they could use multiple platforms. For example, I can use a platform to manage my orders, another platform, for example, in the financial industry to generate my invoices, and another platform to, let's say, manage my customers and employees. So what this type of structure will be in the organization is that you will have your data stored in most likely multiple multiple data sources. Could be one data sources or more. For this manner of demonstration, let's say, for example, this company stores data in an SQL database and an Oracle database, right? So far, so good. However, these two databases are not linked together, meaning that I cannot link my data from SQL to Oracle. And let's take, for example, this employee for the other side. But because here we can have a bit of a problem, right? Let's take this employee has normal day activities, could be monthly activities also. But let's say she will needs to have or perform these couple of tasks. For example, create financial overview. She will needs to, let's say, create an overview, how many revenue the company has done in this week or month, how many products they have sold, and also report to her managers. For example, how many orders are in progress, how many has been fulfilled, and certain things like that. And also she need to make important decisions, right? So do we keep selling this product or services or not? Do we proceed with this vendor or not? So these activities, tasks can require some access to the data in order to make comparisons or count products, count sales, and see how many damages products a vendor has been delivered. So in order to do this, for example, in normal business or the way I've used to do it, which I will need to create Excel files, right? So I will need to copy and paste my data in these Excel sheets, right? Create formulas, for example, VLOOKUPs, match, count if, to, let's say, create financial insights, and also create pivot tables in order to create charts and analytics and certain things like that. But not only that, if I need to share my file, for example, with someone else, if I share my file with a colleague, that colleague can share that file with other persons or colleagues that do not have permissions to see that data. So this has consequence that company policies can be breached, or data can be in the hands of the wrong person. So we have a problem right here. Besides all of that, is that by creating these files, creating these formulas, it takes too much time, right? And you also need to have, let's say, a knowledge in Excel in order to perform, right, those calculations. So, and here is when Power BI comes in handy, right? Because instead of exporting your data or create calculations, you can just only import your data into Power BI without writing any type of coding, right? And with Power BI, you can remove that stress or task of that employee by just creating, let's say, a simple dashboard, which this employee can see on a daily basis or monthly basis in order to perform or proceed with her task by either, again, creating her financial statements, give her manager an update about orders in progress or ongoing orders and certain things like that. So for this reason, right, Power BI can revamp or innovate your business by providing you with tools to limitate tasks, right? Decrease the level of activities of your employees, and also give you insights of trends, discover new things about your business, right? So I've mentioned already about Power BI, right? Right? But why use Power BI? But Power BI is a powerful business intelligence tool developed by Microsoft that helps organizations turn raw data into meaningful insights through interactive visualizations and reports. So what does this include? Right? So with Power BI, you can connect to multiple data sources. Right? It doesn't matter if you have your data in Excel file, text file, or CSV files, or even if your data is on premise, right? Or in cloud. Power BI will give you that opportunity to connect to your data whenever your data is located, and also connected to multiple data sources together. As I mentioned before, maybe your data is consolidated in different other databases, right? So besides connecting to multiple data sources, you can also transform your data. And that is by performing the ETL activities. The ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. So before you load your data into Power BI, you can transform it by verify if your date columns are registered as date, if your integer columns are registered as integer or numbers, right? And all of these I will also be covering later in the presentation. But as you can see with Power BI, the sky is the limit already. Besides that, you can also create interactive dashboards and reports. This is to change the raw data visualizations of each records into more visualizations, which is more, let's say, more beautiful to the eye, right? In order to, let's say, see your activities, your ongoing processes, your ongoing products, as I mentioned before, which I will also demonstrate in a couple of minutes. Right next to that, you have data analysis expressions in Power BI. So what does this entails is that these are advanced calculations that you can perform in Power BI. Let's say, for example, if you have your total revenue and your total costs together in the database, you can create calculations to subtract your cost from your revenue to get your profit. Not only that, you can create also divisions in Power BI to see how many percentage did my revenue increase or decrease compared to the previous year, right? Next to that, you have collaboration and sharing. So collaboration, I can create my dashboard or report and share it with my colleague to, let's say, create her or his part of analytics by using the same data model or data fields, databases that I've used for my own reports. Next to collaboration, you also have sharing, which I will share my reports to my manager to see the insights or the analytics that I have created. This, as I mentioned before, would limit, let's say, my time or the task or activities that I have to keep reporting or sending him, let's say, an update through email. He can click on a link and open that dashboard to provide him with the information that he or she needs. Right? And last but not least, you have data protection and row level security. So in Power BI, you can restrict who can see or not see your dashboard, right? Or reports. You can share that dashboard with the specific persons that will need to use it. And if that person decides to share that dashboard with someone else, they will not have access to the dashboard because you're not have specified to share that dashboard or data with that particular person. You also have row level security. This for limiting the data or visibility to other team members. For example, if you have a high-level reports that contains data from different departments, you can insert row-level security roles to only limit that data to show only for certain departments or for the user that that data is concerned to his department only, right? So as you can see, these all are features and capabilities that Power BI offers in order to not only create visualizations, but also manage and protect your data. Convert your data to the right data sets or data types in order you're using the right and accurate data in your organization. So I speak a lot about Power BI, and now just permit me some couple of questions, some minutes for me to switch to my development environment. All right. So here you can see I have a blank Power BI report, right? And as I mentioned before, this is your Power BI desktop. To start, you need to load your data into the Power BI desktop, which is completely free, so that you can start remodeling, importing your data, and also create relationships. So as I mentioned before, Power BI offers you the ability to import your data from different locations. As you can see, you can import your data from Excel workbook, SQL Server, or even text and CSV files. But even more than that, you can also import your data from Sybase database, Oracle database, right? You also have Azure, where you can import your data from different Azure capabilities and components, right? So you, for example, you can import your AI agent questions that your customers has submitted recently, so that you can check what questions has been submitted the most, right? Or even access your files in your Azure Blob storage, certain things like that. So as you can see, the list go on and on about data sources that I can use. Now for this simple demonstration, I already has imported 2 sample tables from SharePoint. And as you can see in this data, I can switch, right, to transform data. Allow me just to share my screen again. And as you can see, I have all the columns that I have available in SharePoint, which I can verify. I see just below the title if the data is valid, right? How many errors I have in that column, or how many empty fields I have in that column, right? And as I mentioned before, with Power BI, you can transform your data. For example, this ID field needs to be a whole number, needs to be integer, right? So I can make sure to transform it to the right data type. Further on, I see a lot of columns that I will not be needing. I can remove those columns also, right? I can remove those columns by selecting remove columns, which also increase the performance of my data, right? So as you can see with Power BI, you can transform your data, make sure your fields are correctly as is supposed to, and also import your data from anywhere, right? So besides the Power Query, I want to switch back to my Power BI desktop. And this time I want to share, let's say, my report, right? By using Power BI desktop, I was able to create, let's say, these charts and then publish them into Power BI service, which is the cloud version of Power BI. And as you can see, based on the example I have mentioned before of that company, I was able to create an analytics dashboards to measure my sales, right? As you can see on top, I have included a filter where I can filter on fiscal year, right? I can see a high level revenue of the company, high level profit of the total company. And when I search or choose on a specific fiscal year, you can see that the data will filter on that specific fiscal year. Right, next, this is simple. I've included all the categories of the products that we are offering or selling. You can see, let's say, for each category, the total revenue and profit that each product has generated. Moving on to this chart, you can see the total profit that was generated for specific products. This chart is ordered by the most profitable products. So as you can see, you can have a high level. So if I need to choose, for example, we need to keep selling Apple monitor, for example, because this is the products that generate the most revenue in the company, right? Moving on, for your marketing purposes, you can also create an analytics to display, for example, how many revenue each campaign has generated, right? As you can see, the back to school tech bundle has generated the most revenue. so that you can repeat that same campaign, right, to generate the same results. Moving on, you can also see the profit by customer. Here you can see your most profitable customers that you have, right? And moving below, the most least profitable customers that you have. Moving on, you have the most categories sold. Here you can have, for example, okay, keyboards are the most products sold in the company, right? So we need to keep using keyboards. We need to keep offering keyboards in order to make our customers happy. Moving on, we have the data divided in fiscal year. Here I can see at first glance how the company has done in 3 fiscal years, right? And I can also drill down in that same analytics to see how I did for each month, right? I can also do that for the other fiscal year. As you can see, we have an increase in months. But not only that, if I can see specifically for dates, I can also click on that month. Right? To see how I did for individual days. So as you can see, on the 2nd of November, we did the most in profit. Right? And as you can see, how you did for the whole month. Right? So Power BI also provides you with time intelligence metrics so that you can have insightful data or information about how you are performing in different years. And last but not least, I also incorporated, let's say, a chart to, let's say, to display the total quantity we have in inventory, right? So we also included an average line, right, to indicate, okay, how many products we are selling per month. And as you can see, we are running low on laptops. We are selling an average of 16 products per month, but we only have 14 products in the inventory. So this means, okay, I need to reorder laptops to be able to sell them for this month. And besides the charts, Power BI also gave you the ability to drill through your data. So for example, if I want to see all the customers that have purchased the Apple monitor, I can go to this screen, right? Which displays all the customers, all the orders ID, right? The date that the product has been purchased, the model of that product, the campaign, right? The total quantity, and certain things like that. So again, as you can see, Power BI gives you a lot of abilities to manipulate or use the data as you need it in order to provide you, right, with the data and information that you need in order to proceed with your task, and also help you make better decisions in your company. So that was my presentation on how Power BI can, right, revolutionize your business and also give you insights, more deeply insights on how you can use your data to make your company more profitable, right? So now I'm passing the words to Ifa to address any questions that you guys may have.
Hi,
Thanks.
good morning, and thank you for being with us. So we'll move quickly into the Q&A session. We now have the chat. You can put your questions there, and we'll put them to the attention of the individual to answer them. But we have a first question from Harun Karim, asking, can we download Azure VM backup to local storage? And I will pose that question to Rowan.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Sorry. Are
Yes,
you
we
hearing
can.
me? Yeah. So can Haroon, let's chat. Let me hear a little bit more about the scenario because I want to make sure that I'm guiding you correctly. I have an answer, but I want to know from the perspective that you're asking.
Harun?
All right. Oh yeah, I guess for webinars the mic is muted. So quickly. So yes, it's all right. So let me answer the question. Look, two parts.
Oh,
I allow this mic.
Yeah.
yes. His mic
Okay,
is
guys,
open now.
now I can speak. Okay, I just want to give you bit details. In fact, we are having different machines running in Azure, and we are already taking the Azure backups. But as per compliance policy, we should have the on-site backup of those machines as well.
Yeah.
So, but I did not find any tool or anything which can make the on-site backup. For example, I create the policy and store the VM backup on my local storage, on my local server, or any NAS storage. So,
Is your
is that possible?
is your VM backups? You mean back VMs that are running in your data center, right?
And in fact, I want to take the Azure VM backups, which is running in Azure portal. I want to take those backup on my local storage, on my local server NAS.
Okay, I got it. So what you do, you use Microsoft Azure Backup Server in a reverse way. So the way Mabs work, right? Mabs has capabilities to back up to what we call local storage, right? And then tier that backup after a number of days into cloud. So typically we leverage Mabs from on-prem. Your backup server will be running on-prem, and then you back up those VMs to local storage first, and then we tier that backup after a number of days into cloud to save you, obviously space on your storage. By default, Azure VMs back up to the region where the VMs were created. Um, I you would leverage the Mabs agent. So you're kind of creating a complicated scenario for yourself, to be honest, right? You'd leverage a Mabs agent to back up that Azure VM on-prem, and then you tier from that on-prem storage back into Azure. I don't know if you'd want to do that. I'm just telling you the process that it is possible, but it might be more juice than the
Uh,
squeeze might be more headache than the juice that you get from it.
yes, in fact, I know the Mars agent that can we can use to make the local VM backups on the Azure storage. That's not an issue, but issue is on the reverse side. All machines are running on the Azure portal, and we want to take those Azure portal machines backup on our local storage.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm saying. You'd have to run Mabs in Azure. You need to run a Mab server in Azure, right? Which is possible. And then, point your local storage as the target for that Mab server. And then it will, when you back up the Azure VMs, it would back up the Mabs agent would back up to the local storage. That's what I'm saying. You know, um, what's the reason why you want to back up and I don't want to take up um, I don't want you to take up too much time with this one question. I mean, Chadwick, this might be a deeper conversation offline. But I think
Yes.
the bigger issue is the why. What's the reason why you want to have the backup locally? Is it compliance? What is
Yes,
the reason?
it's this is compliance, and this is compliance policy that we should have on-site backup as well. That's the reason.
Okay. I don't know if there are any more questions there. That's something that we'd have to take offline. Chadwick, I can, maybe you.
There are no more questions. Anyone? Okay, so we want to wrap up as soon as possible. So, Harun, we will reach out to you. Chadwick will put that in his action list to reach out to you and discuss this further.
Yes, I agree, Rowan. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be a bit difficult to get that backup back on-prem, though it's possible with that reverse engineering method that Rowan described, because maps can indeed be run in Azure. So you'd basically just, as Rowan say, you'd have to set up the short-term storage retention place as a local storage device in your infrastructure. But that can be a bit of an involved process. So we can talk after here about that one.
All right. Thank you, Ron and Chadwick. And so as we wrap up, let's go over quickly the key takeaways that you gain or would have gained from today's webinar. So by the end of the session, you should have a clear understanding, if any, of how proactive solutions help. The first step was service to Inova solutions. So, Raquel looked at how proactive solutions help to prevent issues before they escalate, reducing downtime and boosting efficiency. Then she looked at the importance of freeing up your organization to focus on its core functions by offloading IT tasks. Then she also looked into the long-term cost savings to minimizing disruptions and improve resource allocations. Then she also looked at the value of ongoing security monitoring, regular updates, and patching in reducing the risk of data breaches. Then she also would have discussed the benefits of a scalable and comprehensive IT solution that supports business growth with predictable costs and robust support. Secondly, Yamile and Rowan looked at the value of the Azure Cloud. Rowan looked at how AI drives organizations to rethink technology platforms and strategies where Azure is positioned as the trusted cloud provider for AI innovations, offering unique value and benefits over competitors. He looked at where Azure also aims to empower organizations that are new to the cloud, new to Azure, or using Azure as a secondary cloud provider. The goal is to build the confidence in Azure's capabilities and drive considerations among technology decision makers. We also looked at where Azure provides a range of solutions to support digital and AI transformation, including a modern app platform, intelligent data services, and a powerful AI cloud platform. These solutions help organizations to harness the full power of their data and innovate with AI. Ron also highlighted Azure's commitment to security, data governance, and responsible AI, where Azure offers built-in security features, privacy commitments, and tools to build it. Customers can be assured that they can innovate with confidence. They also looked at how Azure's global infrastructure, extensive partner network, and support for hybrid and cloud environments that they provide to organizations. These organizations are allowed a flexibility to transform their business in ways that best suit their needs. Azure's adaptive cloud capabilities help simplify complex processes and accelerate growth. Chadwick looked at how Azure Backup supports a robust business continuity and disaster recovery strategy for your workload. Also, the scalability and reliability of Azure to make it a trusted, dependable solution for your evolving business needs. Perzino looked at how Power BI centralizes data from multiple resources, giving decision makers a single source of truth. Next, where Paul Power Query enables efficient ETL processes to ensure clean, reliable data for insights. He also highlighted how Power BI creates intuitive, visually engaging dashboards to simplify complex data analysis. Also, you can access real-time analytics, allowing timely and data-driven business decisions. Then last but not least, Power BI fosters collaboration, enabling sharing of reports, dashboards, keeping teams aligned and informed. These takeaway, yes, insights will empower you to make the most of Azure and Power BI in your organization. Now, we conclude our webinar, and we hope you found this session insightful and are ready to explore how Azure and Power BI can transform your business. Take the next step. We invite you to book a free discovery call with our expert team. We have Shadrick, we have Raquel, we have Jorzinho, you have myself. Give us a call, take our information, and we are ready to discuss your specific needs and challenges, explore tailored solutions using Azure and Power BI, and answer any questions you may have. So don't miss the opportunity to get personalized advice and insights with us. Also, I want you to note and ask you to take our survey. There is the QR code right there, and those that fill out the survey will be raffling, taking those names and providing a little gift saying thank you for sharing with us your feedback and joining us this morning. Let me give you a moment. Take that QR code down, and Kurt would have also shared the survey link in the chat. So please, just let us know your feedback, and we'd love to hear about your experience this morning. And finally, again, I say thank you for joining us today for navigating the cloud and the interactive guide to Azure and Power BI. We truly appreciate your participation and look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a great one. I hand it over to Kurt.
Yes. If there's nothing else, anyone else want to say something? Maybe Rohan?
No, yeah, first of all, I just want to, again, thank our customers for the opportunity to speak to them, to share our vision, and to, remind them that, a partner such as yourselves are heavily invested in helping us help customers be successful, wherever their cloud journey are, or wherever they are on their cloud journey. So truly excited to see, the next step with some of these customers. Thank you.
Okay, then. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance. We will be in touch very soon. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.